Bookworms, my name is Kaylin and welcome back to my channel Thriving in Fiction. Today I'm going to be going over my most anticipated releases for the month of June. So excuse me while I have my laptop in this video. I obviously don't really know much else about these books other than what is freely available on the internet. They're not out yet. I haven't read them, so I can really only tell you what the internet is telling me they're about. And I'm going to go in the order that they're going to be released. So I'm going to start with the ones that are going to be coming out on June 1st. So the first book I want to talk to you guys today about comes out on June 1st, as a lot of these do. And it is Baccan by Veronica G. Henry. And the cover for this book is gorgeous. That's really what drew me in. And then I read the synopsis and I was sold. So the synopsis is, evil lives in a traveling carnival roaming the Depression-era South. But the carnival's newest act, a peculiar young woman with latent magical abilities, may hold the key to defeating it. Her time has come. Abandoned by her family, alone on the wrong side of the color line, with little to call her own, Eliza Meeks is coming to terms with what she does have. It's a gift for communicating with animals. To some, she's a magical tender. To others, a she-devil. To a talent prospect, she's a crowd-drawing oddity. And the Bacchanal Carnival is Eliza's ticket out of the swamp trap of Baton Rouge. Among fortune-tellers, carnies, barkers, and folks even stranger than herself, Eliza finds a new home. But the Bacchanal is no ordinary carnival. An ancient demon has a home there too. She hides behind an iridescent disguise. She feeds on innocent souls. And she's met her match in Eliza, who's only beginning to understand the purpose of her own burgeoning powers. Only then can Eliza save her friends, find her family, and fight the sway of a primordial demon preying upon the human world. Rolling across a consuming Dust Bowl landscape, Eliza may have found her destiny. So this just sounds like such an atmospheric read. I loved, I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern a couple years ago, and I loved that vibe, that carnival circusy vibe. And to have this set in the southern US in Depression era, I'm just so interested, and I can't wait to pick it up. I'm sure it's going to be I hope it's going to be very atmospheric. I love when stories include almost fortune-tellery, that kind of magical realism that you can't really put a finger on. It's kind of in the background. I love that stuff. I eat it up. From what I read, this sounds very much within that vein, that hard to put your finger on kind of vibe that I loved in The Night Circus. So I'm really interested in this one, and I will probably pick it up as soon as it comes out. And the next book I want to talk to you guys about also comes out on June 1st, and that is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nai Vo. And this is, it looks like to be a new take on The Great Gatsby, so it's set in that 20s era, but it has a Vietnamese immigrant queer vein to it, or queer bend to it, that I'm really interested in. And the synopsis says, Jordan Baker grows up in the most rarefied circles of 1920s American society. She has money, education, a killer golf handicap, and invitations to some of the most exclusive parties of the jazz age. She's also queer and Asian, a Vietnamese adoptee treated as an exotic attraction by her peers, while the most important doors remain closed to her. But the world is full of wonders, infernal pacts and dazzling illusions, lost ghosts and elemental mysteries. In all paper is fire, and Jordan can burn the cut paper heart out of a man. She just has to learn how. Nai Vo's debut novel, The Chosen and the Beautiful, reinvents this classic of the American canon as a coming-of-age story full of magic, mystery, and glittering excess, and introduces a major new literary voice. And this just sounds so interesting to me. It's another one that sounds like a very atmospheric read, and it also seems like it has really interesting themes of being an immigrant and being the object of someone else is exoticizing you, so being that exotic attraction to the people around you. So I feel like between the atmosphere and the mystery and those hopefully important thematic discussions happening, that I think this is going to be another really good read, and another one that I'm really looking forward to. And the next book I want to talk to you guys about today is another June 1st release, and that is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. So this is a young adult tale, and from what I can read, it is a weaving of a traditional witchy kind of elemental magical story, but also looking at the impact of climate change, of global warming, and what that might mean to us in the future. So the synopsis says, for centuries, witches have maintained the climate, their power from the sun peaking in the season of their birth. But now their control is faltering as the atmosphere becomes more erratic. All hope lies with Clara, an Everwitch, whose rare magic is tied to every season. In autumn, Clara wants nothing to do with her power. It's wild and volatile, and the price of her magic, losing the ones she loves, is too high, despite the need to control the increasingly dangerous weather. In winter, the world is on the precipice of disaster. Fires burn, storms rage, and Clara accepts that she's the only one who can make a difference. In spring, she falls for Sang, the witch training her. As her magic grows, so do her feelings, until she's terrified Sang will be the next one she loses. In summer, Clara must choose between her power and her happiness, her duty and the people she loves, before she loses Sang, her magic, and thrusts the world into chaos. It just sounds really interesting, and I love the juxtaposition of having these elemental, witchy kind of elements with the very real and terrifying impact of global warming on the world. So I don't know if I've seen a story that kind of takes those two things and weaves them together. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up as well. So June 1st is going to be quite the trip to the bookstore for me. So the next book I want to talk to you guys about comes out on June 8th, and it is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. And the cover more than anything drew me into this one. And then I read the synopsis and I saw it was blurbed by S.A. Chakraborty, who is the author of the Davabad trilogy, which I love. So that really drew me in. I'm really interested in it. And the synopsis says, exiled by her despotic brother, Malini spends her days dreaming of vengeance while trapped in the Harana, an ancient cliffside temple that was once the revered source of the magical deathless waters, but is now little more than a decaying ruin. The secrets of the Harana call to Priya, but in order to keep the truth of her past safely hidden, she works as a servant in the loathed regent's household, biting her tongue and cleaning Malini's chambers. But when Malini witnesses Priya's true nature, their destinies become irrevocably tangled. One is a ruthless princess seeking to steal a throne, the other a powerful priestess seeking to save her family. Together, they will set an empire ablaze. And that just sounds awesome. I'm here for like these two women characters just kicking some ass. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up as well. I love the different settings. I love the Indian, Middle Eastern inspired settings. I love that it has two female protagonists, and hopefully they're just kick ass. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this one as well. So the next book that comes out on June 8th that I want to talk about is The Wolf and the Woodsman, and it is by Ava Reed. It's another book cover that really, really drew me in. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. It's so different. And the synopsis of this one says, in her forest-veiled pagan village, Avike is the only woman without power, making her an outcast clearly abandoned by the gods. The villagers blame her corrupted bloodline. Her father was a Yuli man, one of the much-loathed servants of the fanatical king. When soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of the Woodsman to claim a pagan girl for the king's blood sacrifice, Avike is betrayed by her fellow villagers and surrendered. But when monsters attack the Woodsman and they're captive en route, slaughtering everyone but Avike and the cold, one-eyed captain, they have no choice but to rely on each other. Except he's no ordinary woodsman. He's the disgraced prince, Gaspar Barani, whose father needs pagan magic to consolidate his power. Gaspar fears that his cruelly zealous brother plans to seize the throne and instigate a violent reign that would damn the pagans and the Yuli alike. As the son of a reviled foreign queen, Gaspar understands what it's like to be an outcast, and he and Avike make a tenuous pact to stop his brother. As their mission takes them from the bitter northern tundra to the smog-choked capital, their mutual loathing slowly turns to affection, bound by a shared history of alienation and oppression. However, trust can easily be turned to betrayal, and as Avike reconnects with her estranged father and discovers her own hidden magic, she and Gaspar need to decide whose side they're on and what they're willing to give up for a nation that never cared for them at all. I love tales of found family and like people who feel on the outskirts of society, finding others who feel that way and finding a connection. So I think I'm really going to love this book for that aspect of it alone. And then you add in like, it's for people who, it says it's for fans of Naomi Novik's Spinning Silver and The Bear and the Nightingale. And I didn't read Spinning Silver, but I did read The Bear and the Nightingale. I really loved the cold atmospheric setting that book had, so I'm really looking forward to this one as well. It seems like a lot of these kind of atmospheric reads are coming out in June, and I'm kind of here for it. I've been reading a lot of epic, bloody, high fantasies. I can see myself being in the mood for atmospheric, magical realism kind of thing because I do love those books as well. So I'm really hoping that The Wolf and the Woodsman is another one of those kind of reads. And the next book is actually a collection of short stories, and it comes out on June 15th, and that is The Tangleroot Palace by Marjorie Liu. So Marjorie Liu is the author of the Monstrous series. That's the only other thing I've read that I know her from, And I do love that series. I think it's a really unique world, a really unique storytelling, unique art. So I really enjoyed that one. And the cover of this book, oh my god, it's beautiful. I'm normally not into short story collections or novellas, but oof, I might have to get this one. And the synopsis says, Briar, bodyguard for a body-stealing sorceress, discovers her love for Rose, whose true soul emerges only once a week. An apprentice witch, she seeks her freedom through betrayal, the bones of the innocent, and a meticulously plotted spell. In a world powered by crystal skulls, a warrior returns to save China from invasion by her jealous ex. A princess runs away from an arranged marriage, finding a family in a strange troupe of traveling actors at the border of the kingdom's deep dark roots. Concluding with a gorgeous full-length novella, Marjorie Liu's first short fiction collection is an unflinching sojourn into her thorny tales of love, revenge, and new beginnings. Again, it sounds like another really atmospheric, immersive read, and I really love the atmosphere that she created in Monstrous, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that carries over into another kind of storytelling with this artist. And the last book I want to talk to you guys about comes out on June 29th, and it is Gearbreakers by Zoe Hannah Makuta. And it's another one that the cover drew me in. I'm a sucker for a good cover. And then I read the synopsis, and the synopsis sounds really amazing. And the tagline alone got me. It says, "We went past praying to deities and started to build them instead." Like, what? The shadow of Godelia's tyrannical rule is spreading, aided by their giant mechanized weapons known as wind-ups. War and oppression are everyday constants for the people of the Badlands, who live under the thumb of their cruel Gadilla overlords. Eris is a gearbreaker, a brash young rebel who specializes in taking down wind-ups from the inside. When one of her missions goes awry and she finds herself in a Gadilia prison, Eris meets Sonia Steelcrest, a cybernetically enhanced wind-up pilot. At first, Eris sees Sona as her mortal enemy, but Sona has a secret. She has intentionally infiltrated the wind-up program to destroy Gadilia from within. As the clock ticks down to their deadliest mission yet, a direct attack to end Gadilia's reign once and for all, Eris and Sona grow closer as comrades, friends, and perhaps something more. So it just sounds like a cool spin on something like Pacific Rim, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know. I don't know anything else about it and what else to say other than it sounds really cool and the cover's really cool and I want to read it. Alright guys, so that has been my most anticipated releases for the month of June. Let me know in the comments below if you have anything else that you want to put on my radar. Did I touch on what you're most looking forward to? If not, let me know. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.